As fentanyl ravages communities, killing young and old alike across this nation, the White House is scrambling for solutions, dispatching the Secretary of State to Beijing.
We've advanced our cooperation on fentanyl and other synthetic drugs, the number one killer of Americans between the ages of 18 and 45. The U.S. and China have set up a joint counter-narcotics working group to collaborate on policymaking and on law enforcement. More needs to be done. In my discussions, I underscored the importance of the PRC taking additional action, in particular by prosecuting those who were selling chemicals and equipment used to make fentanyl.
Don't worry, he underscored. Under Biden, diplomatic discussions have resulted in very little progress in halting fentanyl's precursor chemicals from making their way to American shores.
Figures from the CDC show synthetic opioids like fentanyl resulted in more than 70,000 overdose deaths in 2021. On a rolling basis, it's north of 100,000 based on some estimates. Joining us now, former DEA Special Operations Director Derek Maltz. Derek, thank you for being here. Your reaction to what you heard come out of Tony Blinken's mouth?
Well, number one, he's a little bit behind. Right now, the legacy of Blinken and Biden and this administration is 300,000 dead Americans. You can see some of them behind me. The Chinese networks have formed such a strong partnership with the cartels. They're engaging in so many aspects of the drug crisis, and the government can't keep up. For 30 years, they've been providing precursor chemicals. There was $207 million seized in 2007 from a Chinese chemical broker. They then started a new phase of a chemical attack 15 years ago, dropping K2 spice, then fentanyl. They're providing the money laundering services for the cartel. They're buying farms. They're buying real estate. And our American citizens are dying at record levels. They're destabilizing America under the disguise of drug trafficking. So this administration has been asleep with this particular issue.
Right. So Derek, Blinken talks about things like collaboration, like he's dealing with a good faith partner, somebody who wants to work with him. Does the administration actually believe that, or is that just the line they feed America to try to sort of make it look like they care about this issue?
Brian, great question. I mean, right now we're in a very important election year, right? So maybe they should read that the House China Select Committee, where they have the Chinese Communist Party directly subsidizing the manufacturing and export of all these illicit fentanyl materials and synthetic drugs to this country by giving tax rebates. It's insanity. They also own a lot of these companies. They're basically giving grants and awards to companies for doing this. They're rewarding the death of Americans. It's real simple. And by the way, they're not prosecuting the fentanyl and the precursor manufacturers because they're exporting it out of China into America. America is the biggest adversary. This is unrestricted warfare. There's no other way to look at it. And Americans need to wake up and connect the dots because this is a really bad threat.
1.2, 1.3 million Americans killed in the COVID pandemic, unleashed on the U.S. and the world by China, and now a second pandemic because of fentanyl, and nothing changes until the border is closed.
Right. So can I make a really important point, which
Yes.
I have a problem with as an American citizen? Chris Wray, the FBI director, has been warning us for the last several months that China is the #1 national security threat. But does he talk to the president? Because they're letting in 4,000 Chinese nationals every single month now for this fiscal year. They're setting up super grow pot operations all over the country, 270 in the state of Maine alone. And our kids are smoking this stuff, and the THC is very high. So emergency room admissions are up. We have psychosis, heart attacks, strokes increasing, mental illnesses. So they're disconnected throughout this administration, and it really is sad.
And they're doing nothing about it. Derek, thank you so much for being here. Please come back
Thank you.
and stay on it.
Thank you.
And thank you for your passion
Thank you.
so much. Derek Maltz.